All right, finally here. I know it took like a week away from this stuff, but then the Joey versus West Coast battle, that whole thing kind of consumed my entire week. And then I went off to Ohio to go to the Toledo Zoo and hang out there for a couple days. Now I'm back and meet the Grams. That's where we're at, right? Because we did Reed's Notes, 616 in LA we did, Family Matters we did. Now we're on Meet the Grams. This is the big one. This is the one I might criticize the most. This one, I don't know. I will say going into it, I think this just prefaces by my thoughts going into it like we've done before. You can see all the other previous videos on the other. Also, yeah, like, subscribe. We're covering the entire Drake Kendrick battle daily until I took that little break, but daily. So tomorrow, Not Like Us, and then the following day, I wrote down BBL Drizzy. Don't know if I'm gonna do that, but the Heart Part 6, and maybe we'll just do some post battle recaps and stuff like that. But yeah, prefacing going into this, my thoughts going into it. He has an entire verse. I like the song. It's very sinister sounding. He has an entire verse about a daughter that a year later, and this is why it's important to do these year later reactions. I just noticed he didn't capitalize this title. I wonder if there's a reason for that. A year later, daughter still doesn't exist. That wouldn't be as big of a whiff if it was just like a line, but that was the big angle of this song. So a year later, this song is just deteriorating. It's just going, it's like crumbling. I don't even hear people talking about it that as much unless you're like a Kendrick stan, because the daughter doesn't exist. So now it feels like I have to disqualify this song completely from the battle. And so Drake has 4 songs. Kendrick, I gotta take away one because this one's about a daughter that doesn't exist. That's 3. So it's Drake's 4 against Kendrick's 3. And I think that's where the weight of like the battle, where it was pretty even at this point. Like right now, if I'm looking at FPS like that, 7-minute drill, push-ups, tailor-made, champagne moments. Oh, that's the games and stuff. The games and Rick Ross. So skipping that. Euphoria, 616, Family Matters. Family Matters was a tough one. And then he drops this. I don't think this is enough to surpass. Like right now, Drake is up. And I'm just prefacing this going into it because I'm going to react to it a year later and see if I feel the same way, or maybe this is strong enough, despite the verse, this is strong enough to go over Drake. But right now, Drake is up a substantial amount because I think Drake was still up after Euphoria and 616 in LA. I think 616 in LA, Euphoria is trash. 616 in LA was, you can watch my Euphoria reaction to see how I actually feel about that. But 616 in LA, I thought was super strong. It set up everything perfectly. It was beautiful. And this should have been that overhand punch knocks him out, right? It wasn't, because there's a big whiff, right? He just completely misses. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I saw push-ups and tailor-made over Euphoria and 616. And then this one, boom, like this wobbled him. This wobbled Kendrick. If we're using that fight analogy still, this wobbled him. He hit back with Meet the Grams, or he attempted to, and he whiffed. He missed. It is what it is. So Drake is still up after Meet the Grams, in my opinion. I'm going to listen to it again. Maybe I'll change my mind. But right now, that's my thoughts on the battle. Now we're going to find out how I feel about it a year later. Like, subscribe, all that stuff. Continuing. This was weird. This image, again, this is why it's important to look at things a year later. This image, it came out like, you can look into it more. I don't have as many details as I'd like to give you, but yeah, I guess this was his father's. He left at a hotel. It's like his medication, his glove, weird stuff. I don't know if it actually means anything. Like, it's not significant. It was just, I guess his father left some stuff over at a hotel. Somebody grabbed it, took a picture of it, fanned out, which is weird. But whatever. I guess it's to indicate to Kendrick, hey, we know more about you than you. Like, it's supposed to be a scary moment for Drake. It's supposed to indicate to Drake that Kendrick has access to personal belongings. Like, how did you, get my dad's gloves, my dad's medication, my dad's shirt? Like, what, it's supposed to be like an eerie thing, which, to be fair, would be kind of an eerie thing, until I call my dad and he tells me, oh yeah, I just left him at a hotel. Like, so I don't know. I don't know if it works, right? I'd have to ask Drake, but Drake's never going to say, oh yeah, that scared me. So, but it is cool. I think it's a cool thing to use, if that makes sense. I think it's a cool cover. It's not as much of a gotcha as like the Story of Adidon's cover with the blackface. Like, that was a lot. But also, what is my favorite cover of the battle? That's another thing. Wait, let's talk about that for a minute. The favorite cover. Okay, so we have Push Ups, which was the shoe size, which is hilarious. Then we have Not Like Us, which is the Drake's house with like the PDF file locator on the thing. That one was a good one too. What was the Heart Part 6? I forgot what that one was. I don't think that was much of anything. It was just like a caption or something. Champagne Moments was stupid. The Games was just stupid. Tailor Made. What was Tailor Made? Did Tailor Made have one? I think Tailor Made might have just been like a audio file type of thing. It's between Push Ups and Not Like Us. Push Ups was hilarious. Push Ups I actually like died laughing at. Not Like Us was clever. No, Push Ups was clever. But it's between those two. It's between those two for me.
Dear Adonis, I'm sorry that man is your father. Let me be honest.
Sorry. And he's going the familial route. This isn't kind of the problem I had with Kendrick in this battle. Is it felt like a lot of these angles were reused from other battles, whether that be from Joe Budden's battle. And I just watched a Making a Murderer Joe Budden song reaction. That was his Drake diss, his first one. He dropped 4. I just watched reaction and I saw in the comments somebody said, oh yeah, if you look at the line, you can't Bell Biv DeVoe your way out of this one. Was Kendrick, when Kendrick said that line in Euphoria, it wasn't the exact same line, but it was, you can't dot it out of your way out of this one. That was him paying homage to Joe Budden. Whereas like in any other battle, if that was anybody else, if Drake said that, what would you say? You would say he bit Joe Budden. He stole that line from Joe Budden. See how language changes depending on our favoritism towards somebody. And again, just preface this, been a Kendrick fan my entire life. Not my entire life. Since like 2010, right? Like overly dedicated type fan. Like don't come at me talking about I'm a fake fan or whatever. You don't have the credibility to do that. Anyway, regardless. Yeah, like it's funny how our language changes depending on who we favor. I'll carry on. But yeah, he reuses a lot of angles here from other battles, and this is a case where it just doesn't work.
Dear Adonis, I'm sorry that man is your father. Let me be honest. It takes a man to be a man. Your dad is not responsive. I look at him and wish your grandpa would have wore a condom. I'm sorry that you gotta grow up and then stand behind him. Life is hard, I know. The challenges always go beat us home. Sometimes our parents make mistakes that affect us until we grown. Hey, you're a good kid that need good leadership. Let me be your mentor, since your daddy don't teach you shit. Never let a man piss on your leg, son. Either you die right.
And this is another thing I kind of have an issue with Kendrick in this battle is like he's relying heavily on the angles, on the impact of his words, which is fine. We've seen that work before. Again, I used 50 Cent in one of my previous videos, the Absol video, the last Absol video, where he enters the Joe Budden or Joey Badass versus West Coast battle. $50 Cent isn't the greatest lyricist of all time, but his words had impact. When he made those diss records, he has some of the greatest diss records of all time. The songs were amazing. In this one, the song isn't great. It's not a great song. It doesn't have great replay value. You're not going to just bump this. It's not that type of song, right? So then, in that case, people usually fall back on lyricism, or they fall back on the impact of the content. When the impact of the content, it just feels like it's recycled from the Pusha T battle or some other battle. It doesn't have the same impact, right? It's not as scary. It's not as eerie. Now, if this is the first time we were finding out about Adonis, then it'll be like, okay, I think Pusha T did the same thing. He fell back on the lyricism. He fell back on the content because it was new information. Also, he was punching in that. If you listen to Story I've Had It On, he was punching. He had punchlines. He had wordplay. He was really witty. This doesn't have a lot of punchlines or wordplay. The rhyming isn't impressive. He's not rapping well. He's rapping well. He's rapping fine, but it's not anything impressive. And I think that's also the issue I have with this battle is because we set a precedent that we are battling to find out who's a better rapper. That's what Drake is. That's how Drake is battling. In that battle, Kendrick's losing. Now, if we're looking at it as beef and who is like dominating as far as a beef goes, I guess you would say Kendrick, but like that's not really for us to decide. It's not our beef. So like I'm judging a battle, and as a rap battle, Kendrick right now is not rapping as well as Drake was rapping on Family Matters, and you're delusional if you think so. Right now, that could change and not like us. We're gonna get to it.
The challenges always go beat us home. Sometimes our parents make mistakes that affect us until we grown. Hey, you're a good kid that need good leadership. Let me be your mentor since your daddy don't teach you shit. Never let a man piss on your leg, son. Either you die right there or pop that man in the head, son. Never fall in the escort business, that's bad religion. Please remember, you could be a bitch even if you got bitches. Never code switch, whether right or wrong. You're a black man, even if it don't benefit your goals. Do some push-ups, get some discipline. Don't cut them corners like your daddy did. Fuck what
I think that's interesting. It's interesting he's going that route. Now he's kind of, it feels like he's almost... Oh, my phone's ringing. 1 second. 1 second. All right, I'm back with a lemonade. Also, I went to Culver's the past few days, and I got these. What are they called? Okay, their smoothies are really good. They're not actual smoothies, but smoothies are really good. But then, like above that on the menu was this other thing. I don't know what it was called. It was another drink, some icy drink they have. Type of slushy contraption, ice cream contraption thing. I don't think it's dairy though, because it didn't mess my stomach up, and I'm lactose intolerant. So, but it was really good. I don't know. Try it. Culver's, great establishment. I've never had anything bad from there. Everything was great. Yeah, the smoothies were great too. I might like their smoothies better. I never even had their smoothies prior to like yesterday or 2 days ago. Yeah. All right. Do they have Culver's everywhere, or is that just a Midwest thing? Culver's is great. Again, he's banking on information opposed to his rap ability here. Not saying he can't rap, but this is a rap battle and he's not displaying it, right? So it doesn't matter if your performances prior to this have been better. It matters now how you're battling. Same thing in a like an on-stage battle, right? If you don't perform well in that battle, then you lost. You can't just be like, well, we know he raps better, so it's fine. He's rapped better before, so we can just rely on the information. Like, no, that's not how this works. You have to perform now. And he's relying heavily on information that we've all heard before, the Ozempic thing. Again, maybe if you weren't paying attention, maybe if you weren't, too knowledgeable about hip hop, you wouldn't know what was going on as far as Joe Budden's battle with Drake in 2016, where he was going at Drake for getting stomach reductions and stuff like that. We've heard that angle before. Rick Ross in this very battle already called him BBL Drizzy or whatever, or called him whatever he said, talked about that. We've heard this angle before. We've heard it. The women thing. Joe Budden already came at him for that. You made it a trend being a groupie for groupies. That's what Joe Budden said. You did it with control. Everybody responded. You never did anything. So like, it's like the pot calling the kettle black. Like there's so many things I could pick apart here that people do to Drake all the time. And I will do to Drake as well. People do to Drake that they won't do to Kendrick. There's so many things I can pick apart here, and that I have been. This only works if, is that a little fly? This only works if that daughter he's talking about later on is real. A year later, she's not. Unless he's doing a really good job at hiding this daughter. Okay, so the reason why Pusha T's angle worked was not because you're hiding a daughter. That's not, people misconstrue his angle all the time. Especially as time passes, right? That was never Pusha T's angle. The angle was never you're hiding your daughter from the world or you're hiding your son from the world. It was you are hiding them from the world. You're not taking care of them. You won't let your baby mom bring the daughter, or the son, I mean, across the border. you're playing Border Patrol, but you have an Adidas deal coming, and now you're going to reveal your son to the world because you have an Adidas deal coming, and that's the only reason you're going to reveal your son to the world. Pusha T was never dissing him for hiding his son, because most of these celebrities are hiding children. If they're not, like, they might say they have children, but they're not gonna. I don't know the name of Kendrick's kids. Who does? You're a weirdo if you do, honestly. Like, if you're being real, because I'm a super Kendrick fan. Unless he said it in his music. Let's be clear. Unless he said it in his music, that's fine. But like outside of that, I mean, like even then, like I don't remember. Like I don't think about his kids. You know, like what are we doing? But it rarely is good. It rarely pays off in a positive way. I don't know the name of J. Cole's kid. I don't know the name of. I only know the name of Drake's kid because of that Story of Adidon song. But yeah, like most of these celebrities are keeping their kids, you know, out of the spotlight, as they should, right? Pusha T was never dissing Drake for that. Now it feels like Kendrick is saying you're hiding another kid. Even if he did have a daughter, that's fine, as long as he's treating her right. And, you know, like that would be a whole other conversation. Like if he was abusing her, if he was going to use her as a rollout, you know what I mean? Like, that would be nasty. But it's not, I mean, that's not even what Kendrick's saying. So I think this is kind of Kendrick trying to flip the Pusha T angle or use the Pusha T angle again. He's just not as calculated as Pusha T. Oh, yeah, I gotta press play.
Just play this when you're 18.
Oh yeah, there might be a jump in the audio just because it stopped recording the audio for some reason. But anytime I commented on something, if you saw like a cut, it's because the audio was frozen. So I just cut it. I'm gonna cut it out in post.
Dear Sandra, your son got some habits, I hope you don't undermine them. Especially with other girls that's hurt inside this climate. You're a woman, so you know how it feels to be in alignment with emotions, hoping a man can see you and not be blinded. Dear Dennis, you gave birth to a master manipulator. Even using you to prove who he is a huge favor.
Again, this master manipulator line, I believe this is the second time he said it. And again, the rapping, he's not rapping great on here. The master manipulator line, I just always think it's ironic because Kendrick is a great manipulator in a positive way, not like in a negative way, but like I think he manipulated the people perfectly in this battle. He did what he's supposed to do. It's crowd control, right? It's the same thing. It's a battle rap tactic, and he used it perfectly.
I think you should ask for more paper and more paper and more paper. I'm blaming you for all his gambling addictions, psychopath intuition, the man that liked to play victim. You raised a horrible fucking person. The nerve of you, Dennis. Sandra, sit down. What I'm about to say is heavy. Now listen. Your son's a sick man with sick thoughts. I think niggas like him should die. Him and Weinstein should get fucked up in a cell for the rest of their life. He hates black women, hypersexual.
See, and that's like the PDF file angle, right? Has anything come of that? I mean, like, we know the video of Drake on stage and that there was a girl, I think she was like, what, 17? Don't quote me on that. I don't remember, but I remember the video was kind of like blue. It was like a bluish background at a concert. The issue is Kendrick didn't bring up that thing by name, right? And I don't want to give Kendrick too much credit for something he didn't bring up. Like, I would need to hear him say that. Then I could give him the points for that. But it seems like he's just saying that y'all have a PDF file like ring at your house. You know what I mean? That's what it sounds like. But nothing's really come of that. Like nobody got in trouble. Nobody, you know, so it's like what? That's the issue with relying on information, right? If you're going to rely on information, you need to back it up. You need to back it up, or you need your raps to back it up. And right now the raps aren't backing it up, opposed to 616 in LA where he was rapping so well. I could listen to that song front to back a million times, never get tired of it. I can't do the same thing with this. It would sound kind of foolish, you know?
With kinks of a nympho fetish, grew facial hair because he understood being the beard just fit him better. He got sex offenders.
That was a horrible line.
On Hovio that he keep on a monthly allowance. A child should never be compromised, and he keeping his child around him. And we gotta raise our daughters.
See, that's a good line, especially if he is around, you know, offenders, right? It's a great line.
Being the beard just fit him better. He got sex offenders on
Oops. Oh, Jesus. What am I doing?
And we gotta raise our daughters knowing there's predators like him lurking. Fuck a rap battle, he should die so all of these women can live with a purpose. I've been in this industry 12 years. I'ma tell y'all one little secret.
I was calling him a predator. But why? You know, like what specific example? Because right now it just sounds like he misuses women, or he's, you know, just running through women casually. That doesn't make you an offender. You know what I mean? In fact, that's something that hip hop artists, or artists in general, not just in hip hop, typically brag about, including Kendrick in his music. So it's just a little odd because he's not saying like, oh, you diddling little kids, like you like I'm young, better not ever go to sub like one. Like he just keeps saying stuff that just kind of has gone unfounded outside of that one video, to my knowledge, unless there's something else. There was the Millie Bobby Brown thing, but again, there was no, you know, nothing came of that. You know, she said he never said anything weird, yada, yada, yada. I feel like it's a lot of fans reaching to make what Kendrick says make sense, instead of looking at it as what it is. It's just a whiff. It's just a whiff. Outside of that video was a lot sus. And by sus, just wrong, right? That video of, I don't know even when that's from. I don't know how old Drake was at the time either. Definitely too old to be doing that. But yeah, but again, he's not talking about that video. He's just talking about in general, like you just misuse women or whatever. You just run through women. But he's not saying like you R-word them, you know, at least I don't think so. I don't think that's what he's saying. So it's kind of just confusing. And I don't think it's as blunt as the song is. I don't think it's blunt enough. And I think that comes from a lack of information. And I think he's using, again, master manipulator here. He's using his credibility and how much you trust his word. And he's using that against you, against him, by being vague. He's going to be vague, and he's going to rely on his fans and just the people in general, the public, to just take his word for it instead of having to back up everything. And he's relying on that vagueness. That vagueness can just makes it sound more mysterious, opposed to we don't have a lot of information, right? So, continuing.
So all of these women can live with a purpose. I've been in this industry 12 years. I'm gonna tell y'all one little secret.
Also, if they're adults, as long as they're adults, that's on them. That's on them if they, you know, mess with Drake and then he doesn't want to mess with them the next week. You know what I mean? Like that's, you get what you signed up for. As long as you're not being hurt or anything like that, you get what you signed up for. You're an adult. Now, if they're young, as in like underaged, that's where we start having issues.
Weird shit going on, and some of these artists be here to police it. They be streamlining victims all inside of their home and calling them tender. Then leak videos of themselves to further push their agendas.
So like leak videos of themselves to further push their agendas. I'm not understanding, like even a year later, like I'm not understanding what he's talking about. Like nothing came of it. And I feel like if you were really serious about this, you should have said something. You should have reported something, called the police. I don't know, but like, what do you mean streaming? 12 years. Because like, I feel like Kendrick, he plays the role as like the industry superhero, right? He's like this industry guy that's like anti-industry, even though he's, and this is Drake's angle. You're not anti-industry. You're in the industry too. You're playing the industry, same industry games. You're doing the same things. But now Kendrick is just further creating that separation where it's like, you guys are weird. I respect my family. There's my family values. He was setting that up with 616 in LA. And then this is like the punch, right? I knew he's talking about.
Raise our daughters knowing there's predators like him lurking. Fuck a rap battle, he should die so all of these women can live with a purpose. I've been in this industry 12 years. I'ma tell y'all one little secret. There's some weird shit going on, and some of these artists be here to police it. They be streamlining victims all inside of their home and calling them tender. Then leak videos of themselves to further push their agendas.
I remember something coming out of that about the tender thing. I guess he was saying Drake called some girl tender. I don't know. If they are victims, not just consenting adults, they are victims. Like, we have to be careful the way we use that word. It's not everybody's a victim, but if they are victims, then you should say something. Like, we need names. If you know something, who are you talking about? Be more descriptive. What are we? What is going on? Like, how are they victims? You know, are they underaged? Are they being forced to be there? You know what I mean? Like, you're not getting a lot of details. And if you really are serious, you should give me those details. But if you're not going to give me those details, then you're just saying stuff, right? And nothing's really come of this. So like, this whole angle is like, I want to give him a lot of points for this. But the issue is, I just don't have the information. So like, what am I going to do? Just believe you? Just believe that you're telling the truth about the guy you don't like? So, you know.
To any woman that be playing this music, know that you're playing.
And that's why it's so important that you still, even when you're taking these angles, you still are rapping well. You still have the wordplay, the punchlines. That was Pusha T. Go back to Story of Adidon. He was still using wordplay. He was still using the punchlines. He was still doing all of those things. Because if that information doesn't connect the way you think it's going to connect, you could still say, yeah, I rap better than him though. I still rap better than him. You know, so like this isn't connecting as much a year later. In the moment, it was like, oh my God, but like a year later, still nothing's come of it. It's not as impactful. And I can't just fall back on the rapping ability because he's not rapping as well as Drake is right now.
Sister, or better yet, selling your niece to the weirdos, not the good ones. Can't to push their agendas. To any woman that be playing this music, know that you're playing your sister, or better yet, selling your niece to the weirdos, not the good ones. Can't win.
So your niece. So I think he is implying they are underage.
I'm saying, give you the truth, so I'ma get mines. The embassy about to get raided too. It's only a matter of time. Hey, Lil Bron, keep the family away. Hey, Curry, keep the family away. To anybody that embody the love for their kids, keep the family away. They looking at you too if you standing by him. Keep the family away. They looking to shoot through any pervert that lives. Keep the family safe.
And he's straight up calling him a pervert. Like, just bluntly right there. Okay. All right. There's like a fly flying around here.
Dear baby girl, I'm sorry that your father not active inside your world.
And this is where it gets muddier. Because now we have all this kind of information that doesn't land a year later because nothing came of it. Outside of that one video, the one video where from years ago where he's on stage with this girl and he kisses her. I guess she was like 17, whatever the case is. Super weird, right? And it would have landed if that's what he was talking about. But again, that's not what he's talking about. He's talking about them having a whole PDF file ring in his house pretty much. And them live streaming girls, calling them tender. Like, that's a whole different thing. But nothing came of it to my knowledge. Unless I'm missing something, nothing came of it. Nobody got arrested. He said it's only a matter of time for the embassy gets taken down or whatever. It didn't happen. You know, it's like that line just, it could, it's only been a year, so maybe in a couple of years. But until then, like, what am I going to do with that information? Oh, and then this is when it starts to get muddy because the daughter doesn't exist. So it's like this whole half of the song, there's 3 minutes left pretty much, and daughter doesn't exist.
But it's music, yeah, that's for sure. Baby girl. Dear baby girl, I'm sorry that your father not active inside your world. He don't commit to much, but it's music, yeah, that's for sure. He a narcissist, misogynist, living inside his songs. Try destroying families rather than taking care of his own. Should be teaching you time.
I remember
watching Frozen with you.
I remember when Kendrick fans are so delusional. Oh my God, and I'm a Kendrick fan, but Kendrick stans are so delusional. I guess any stan is, but I remember somebody straight up telling me, there's a couple things. I remember somebody telling me, one, they think they have Kendrick winning during this battle. They have Kendrick winning because the things Kendrick's saying, his personal narrative of what Drake is better. Had nothing to do with the battle. That's what I was literally told. Oh, this fits the narrative I have of Drake better. So I think I have Kendrick winning right now. What? And then I heard somebody else say, they just, because Drake said he didn't have a daughter, right? He said after this, he said on Twitter, I'll pay somebody. You can work for me if you find out that I have a daughter. You know, the first person to find out I have a daughter or find my daughter can work for me. Like, he was laughing about it on Instagram or whatever. And somebody said they believe Kendrick because they believe Kendrick. They just believe him. I believe what Kendrick says over Drake says, over what Drake says. And it just didn't make any sense to me. Like, bro, how would he would know he has a daughter before anybody else? Like, are you that stupid? You know, like, I don't get it. I don't get it.
Or at your 11th birthday singing.
And this is what I'm talking about. This is where Kendrick is just using the fact that the people are going to believe anything he says. And he knows that. Please believe he knows that. You are delusional if you think he does not know that.
I'm sorry that your father not active inside your world. He don't commit to much, but it's music, yeah, that's for sure. He a narcissist, misogynist, living inside his songs. Try to destroy.
That's for sure. And world, like, he rhymed world and shirt. Like, he's not like the rapping. He's not caring about the rap ability at all in this song. It's just not. This is a rap battle. Let's be clear. This is a rap battle. I remember Peter Rosenberg said it when MGK versus Eminem, like in 2018. And it was about that battle. And I think one of these radio stations, somebody was saying MGK won or whatever. And Peter Rosenberg was like, at what point in a rap battle do we, I think he said something about the Drake and Pusha T thing got everybody forgetting that in a rap battle, at the end of the day, it is about this little flies. I need to spray something. I don't know. I don't have any food in here. Yeah, maybe I just need to spray some. I don't know. It's getting warm outside. Anyway, there's a West Side Boogie line. It's called Outside with Joey Badass. It's like, spend your whole day swatting house flies. That's how we know you ain't outside. You're really outside. I don't know, but there's a fly. But anyway, I forgot what I was saying. Okay, whatever.
Dear baby girl, I'm sorry that your father not active inside your world. He don't commit to much, but it's music.
Oh yeah, for sure. Like, he just rhymed his music, and that's for sure active inside your world. Like, if that was a rhyme, that was a reach. That was a big reach. It's just like, he's not even caring about the bars, the lines, the rhyming, like anything like that. Like, I don't think you can look at this battle and say Kendrick rapped better than Drake, because he didn't. This is nowhere near the level of rapping on Family Matters. Online like us, he was not like us. He was rapping really hard.
Rather than taking care of his own, should be teaching you timetables or watching Frozen with you, or at your 11th birthday singing poems with you. Instead, he being Turks, paying for sex and popping perks, examples that you don't deserve. I want to tell you that you're loved, you're brave, you're kind. You got a gift to change the world and can change your father's mind. Cause our children is the future, but he lives inside confusion. Money's always been illusion, but that's the life he's used to. His father probably didn't claim him neither. History do repeats itself. Sometimes it don't need a reason. But how?
I think he could have saved this verse by even, like, if he tweeted afterwards or like said afterwards in some interview or something like that. No, he wasn't writing that about a real daughter. It was just an angle he was taking, like assuming he had another daughter he was hiding because he hid Adonis. Like, I think that could have saved this, but he never said that. So either the daughter does exist and Drake is doing a fantastic job at keeping it a secret, or this is just a big whiff.
I would like to say it's not your fault that he's hiding another child. Give him grace. This the reason I made Mr. Morale, so our babies like you can cope later. Give you some confidence to go through something. It's hope later. I never want to hear you chasing man, cause it's felt behavior. Sitting in the club with sugar daddies for validation. You need to know that love is eternity and trumps all pain. I tell you who your father is, just play this song when it rains. Yes, he's a hit maker, songwriter, superstar, right? And the fucking dead beat that should never say more life. Read the grams.
kind of just doesn't land when he doesn't have a daughter. You just spent all the time talking to his daughter. Now you're talking to Drake.
I wanted to crash a party, but truthfully, I don't have a hating bone in my body. It's supposed to be a good exhibition within the game, but you fucked up the moment you called out my family's name.
Okay. So, Whitney, so that was the fourth diss track in the battle is when he messed up. Okay. So Kendrick there, I guess, is saying first person shooter, then like that. His intention with the diss on like that was this is an exhibition, we're just rapping, right? Then Drake responded, push-ups, or I guess co-responded first, but then push-ups, and messed it all up by saying something about Whitney, right? Yeah, Whitney, was that? I don't know, whatever. He mentioned Whitney. I'll be bodyguards like Whitney, Top said, drop. Yeah, okay. So he messed up back then. So everything I've been saying before about this being about who raps better, and kind of like I have conflicting thoughts about if it's a beef, I don't care too much about the wordplay and stuff like that and the rapping ability, opposed to if this is a rap battle, right? If it's a beef, it's about the impact as well as the rap ability, but it's mainly about impact, right? 50 Cent, I use that as an example because most of his battles were beefs, right? So then I'm not looking where the double entendres for 50. Like, no, it's a beef, like he wants to end your career. He wants to say things that are going to damage your public perception. So Kendrick was rapping really, really well. He did have the wordplay and stuff unlike that. And then I think Euphoria, you can go see my thoughts on Euphoria if you scroll down or just type in my channel, Euphoria. Does that excuse the lack of rapping on this song? The lack of technical rapping on this song? The lack of technical rapping on something like Euphoria? The lack of, or not even the lack of, just like the iffy line, stuff like that. I want to say no. Because even though he's saying this now, you were rapping really well in 616 in LA. You did shoot with punchlines. You did flip a lot of lines. You're still doing the back and forth with the Michael Jackson Prince angle. You're still doing a lot of that. So you still are in that exhibition you're talking about, or you're still participating as if you are in it. And Drake is as well. You're still participating as if you're trying to find out who's the best rapper. But yeah, so I think of you it the same way. I'm still conflicted in that way, because you're saying personal things about Drake too, and he's still rapping. Even when we get to Heart Part 6, he's still rapping really well. So, it's just more serious now, I guess. It's like, I said this to a friend the other day, it's like a UFC fight, but then occasionally the press conferences get messy and they start talking about each other's families, and a fight breaks out, but they're still gonna fight in the cage. It's still a sport at the end of the day.
Why you had to stoop so low to discredit some decent people? Guess integrity is lost when the metaphors doesn't reach you. I like to understand, cause your house good exhibition within the game, but you fucked up the moment you called out my family's name. Why you had to stoop so low to discredit some decent people? Guess integrity is lost when the metaphors doesn't reach you. And I like to understand, cause your house was never a home. 37, but you showing up as a 7-year-old. You got gambling problems, drinking problems, pill popping and spending problems, bad with money, whore up as a 7. Like to understand, cause your house was never a home. 37, but you showing up as a 7-year-old.
He rhymes 7 twice, and it's kind of just weird. It's kind of like he really is not trying lyrically on this song. I'm not saying he can't do great things lyrically. He's Kendrick Lamar, obviously he can, but he's just not. He's not, and obviously probably is because he wants the focus to be on the words he's saying. But I think in a battle this high profile, you don't need to tone it down. You don't need to tone it down at all, especially when Drake's rapping like that. I think that's why he picked it up and Not Like Us, right? because he knew this was a very slow, that doesn't have a lot of replay value. It's not like a song. Again, I said the replay value thing about Euphoria. Of course, people are going to listen to it. It's Kendrick Lamar. Kendrick Lamar can poop on a stick and record it, and people are going to listen to it. It is what it is. It's going to blow up. I don't think Kendrick has a lot of not great songs that are big. That doesn't, you're not going to convince me with the numbers argument. And this is another one. I don't care what the numbers say. This isn't, if anybody else dropped this song and it wasn't about Drake, it wasn't like a beef song, people wouldn't listen to this. This isn't, what are you talking about? I think Kendrick knew this. That's why he created Not Like Us, which was designed to be more of a bop, you know?
You got gambling problems, drinking problems, pill popping and spending problems, bad with money, whorehouse, soliciting women problems.
Sorry.
Therapy's a lovely start, but I suggest some ayahuasca, strip the ego from the bottom. I try to empathize.
Oh yeah, he rhymed 7 with 7. He rhymed old with home too, which is already a reach, but 737 showing up as a 7-year-old, like you.
I know that you ain't been through nothing, crave entitlement, but wanna be like so bad that it's puzzling. No dominance. Let's recap moments when you didn't fit in. No secret handshakes with your friend. No culture cachet to binge. Just disrespecting your mother. Identities on the fence.
Oh, and I also talked about him saying, talking to son, saying you're a black man. So he's, I don't know if he's cleaning it up, but it seemed like some of the things he was saying before was like anti, I don't know, not anti-biracial. That's where Drake came in and said, you're talking about, you know, all this, you're super black and I'm not, or whatever, all this talk, but you wiped up a mixed queen and then cheat on her with white girls. That's what Drake's angle was. Now it feels like Kendrick cleaning it up as saying, or telling Drake, son, you're a black man. Even though he's the product of a white woman and a biracial man, you're still black because of your dad. Which is cool. Seems like he's just trying to clean up that angle, which is smart because it was a dumb angle. But, or he just never meant it that way and Drake was using it against him. So now going back, that would take steam off of, if I believe him, that would take the steam off of Drake's angle of you wiped up a mixed queen, you know? Even though you diss me for being mixed, right? So that's interesting. And then also, it sets up Not Like Us perfectly because Kendrick does not want to create any divide between people. That's the difference between him and Drake. Drake is like, Drake does not care who he's alienating. He's not playing this smart as far as the public perception. He says pretty much, if you're Kendrick's height, you're a midget. If you're if you like Kendrick's music, you're stupid, whatever. Like he's very much like alienating everybody. Kendrick wants to unify people. And I think that's what sets up Not Like Us perfectly, in that when he says Not Like Us, he's not talking about, you know, whether you're biracial, whether you're white, black, whatever. He's not talking about that. He's talking about these motherfuckers are PDF files. You know what I mean? So yeah, Kendrick played that brilliantly. Again, ironic that he calls Drake a master manipulator when Kendrick is perfectly manipulating people in this battle.
Let's recap moments when you didn't fit in. No secret handshakes with your friend. No culture cachet to binge. Just disrespecting your mother. Identities on the fence.
Also, I guess Kendrick, if there is separation, he's more so talking about Canadians. Like, you're not from America. You're not from the US. You're from America. You're North America, but you're not from the US. You're from Canada and you came into our culture. You came into Black American culture, hip hop, and you're like invading it. You're not like us. He's pushing Drake away. He's alienating Drake. He's saying Drake is on his own. We don't like you. That's what he's saying.
That you living in is compromised.
Or even then, like I think he's just mostly talking about the fact that you are a weirdo, like no, allegedly, a PDF file. And we don't like those people. So anybody who's anti-PDF file, which should be everyone, should be against you, is what Kendrick's saying. And if you are supporting him, then you are also not like us, you know? So he's creating a separation there. It's very intelligent. I'm sorry, I'm like pausing to think about it a lot, but it is smart. It is smart. This should be studied.
Just disrespecting your mother, identity's on the fence. Don't know which family will love you. The skin that you living in is compromised and personas can't channel your masculine. Even when standing next to a woman, you a body shamer. You go hide them baby mamas, ain't you? You embarrassed of them. That's not right, that ain't how mama raised us. Take that mask off, I wanna see what's under them achievements. Why believe you? You never gave us nothing to believe in. Cause you lied about religious views. You lied about your surgery. You lied about your accent and your past tense. All this perjury. You lied about your ghost riders. You lied about your crew members. They all pussy. You lied on them. I know they all got you in them. You lied about your son. You lied about your daughter, huh? You lied about them other kids that's out there hoping that you come. You lied about the only artist that can offer you some help.
Okay, so he's saying
A rap battle. This a long life battle with yourself.
this end was fire. Then he said something about his daughter again. And it's like, nothing ever came of it. And then he doubled down on that by saying, all the other kids you don't take care of. Not only are you saying he's a daughter, but you're saying there are other ones and we've never heard of them. Nothing ever came of it. So it's like, there's so much, like it's building up so much steam at the end. Like, oh my God. And then he says something that kind of deflates it. And it's like, oh yeah. You know, I feel like that's kind of the whole song. that's the whole song. For me, I want to listen to that again.
Standing next to a woman, you a body shamer. You go hide them baby mamas, ain't you? You embarrassed of them. That's not right, that ain't how mama raised us. Take that mask off. I want to see what's under them achievements. Why believe you? You never gave us nothing to believe in. Cause you lied about religious views. Because
I am very critical of Drake. I know it may not seem like it in this battle because I think he's performing well in this battle, but in general, I'm very critical of Drake and how he behaves outside of music, things he pushes, the messages he pushes, the messages he doesn't push, how not vocal he is about social issues. I'm very critical of Drake. I think he could be using his platform for a lot more than what he is using it for. Instead of Nokia, he could be talking about something important. You know, I am critical of how he uses his platform. I'm critical of his music. I think his music in recent years has been pretty lazy. I'm critical of him using ghostwriters. That's not hip hop. So a lot of this hits me. But then you say he has a daughter that he doesn't have, and it's just like, oh, okay, you know.
About your surgery, you lied about your accent and your past tense, all is perjury. You lied about your ghost riders, you lied about your crew members. They all.
And that's corny. You got surgery okay, like if you need surgery, like you were like actually obese and you need to get surgery, yeah, cool. But like, bro, you're a grown man, bro. Work out. You're fine. Like he wasn't like ever too out of shape to work out. You know what I mean?
Know which family will love you. The skin that you living in is compromised and personas can't channel your masculine. Even when standing next to a woman, you a body shamer. You go hide them baby mamas, ain't you? You embarrassed of them. That's not right, that ain't how mama raised us. Take that mask off. I want to see what's under them achievements. Why believe you? You never gave us nothing to believe in. Cause you lied about religious views. You lied about your surgery. You lied about your accent and your past tense. All is perjury. You lied about your ghost riders. You lied about your crew members, they all pussy. You lied on them. I know they all got you in them. You lied about your son. You lied about your daughter, huh? You lied about them other kids that's out there hoping that you come. You lied about the only artist that can offer you some help. Fuck a rap battle. This a long life battle with yourself.
That line is tough. Again, all that lands except for the daughter thing. Again, it deflates it so much. Like the build up and then the daughter thing around here. It's like, okay, it kind of deflated me again. Same thing here, a lot of build up, and then the daughter thing. It's like, oh, okay. So that's pretty much how I feel about it. Yeah, you got everything. Like, subscribe. We are doing, I guess, Not Like Us tomorrow. Yeah, Not Like Us tomorrow. That's the big one, I guess. Goodbye.